Hello everyone, welcome to this March Connected video. As you can tell, I'm in my Hamilton office, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting to be here this morning or to be speaking to you from here. Many of you will know that on Tuesday in the late afternoon, the Katikati Vicarage burnt to the ground. Jonathan McFarlane, the minister in charge of the parish, his wife Lauren, and all of their 5 children are safe. But sadly they lost a beloved family dog. It's devastating when something like this happens. It comes completely out of the blue and you're left with only the clothes you stand up in. So I know that you will join me in wanting to wrap your love, your prayers, your care and your support around this family and indeed around the parish of Katikati. So I'm going to travel through to Katikati this morning for a service where I'll be able to join with the family and with the church family and the wider community who are already rallying around to offer what support I can. I'm enormously grateful to Ben, our diocesan manager, to Archdeacon Andrew Evans, to Kat Maxwell and to Val Riches, all of whom have rallied immediately. In the case of Ben and Kat and Andrew, been able to go through yesterday to the parish and to offer support to the McFarlane family and to the parish. But it will be in the weeks, months ahead where we need to be thinking about any ongoing support that we can offer to this family and to their people. So please pray for the McFarlanes and for the parish of Katikati. Last weekend, we hosted in Taranaki the annual gathering of what is known as Whono. This is a regional gathering from across Oceania, in other words, Papua New Guinea, the Church of Melanesia, Polynesia, Aotearoa New Zealand and Australia, of the primates and the general secretaries of those provinces, together with a number of key advisors. This is something that I helped to re-establish about 7 years ago, and it follows on from something known as the South Pacific Anglican Council, which had been in place many years ago, particularly under the leadership of Archbishop Jabez Bryce. It's an opportunity each year to focus on issues that are common. Issues like climate change, the influence of China, particularly in places like the Solomons, where a military base is to be built in the far north of the island country. Perhaps the focus might be on seasonal labourers and the way in which labourers come from Polynesia, from Melanesia and from Papua New Guinea into Australia and New Zealand to support things like our horticultural industry and some of the treatment that those seasonal labourers receive, but also the way in which many of them are offered support by parishes that are in the location of these horticultural industries. We've also been very much focused over the years on the way in which we can collaborate around theological education for lay and ordained leadership. It was fabulous to be able to host them in part of our diocese, and I was very grateful for the fact that they wanted to come to a corner of my place, my diocese, as a way of just acknowledging the long association that I've had with Whono. The Taranaki Cathedral team hosted them magnificently, and I can't express my gratitude enough to that team for the hospitality and for the framework of a pilgrimage and reflection around the peace and reconciliation work that they're on, that they're working on. I was also grateful to those members of the wider diocese who were able to travel through to join us for a dinner which the diocese hosted. I wanted to talk very briefly too about some progress in following up on the diocesan conversations that we had last year. There will be a much fuller report and update coming firstly to Archdeaconry gatherings and then of course to diocesan gatherings such as our ministry training days. But we are already seeing the benefit of working with our neighbours. And in fact, just in response to the Katikati vicarage fire, the Diocese of Waiapu immediately reached out to us and said, look, if our property team, any of our administrative team can support you, just let us know. Now that's what we're finding, is that rather formal service level agreements, as we talked about last year in the diocesan conversation, that it's going to be the informal ways in which our neighbours can assist us, and in certain circumstances we can assist them. As soon as we move into a formal service level agreement relationship, in fact, we then have to start to think about costs and payment. And our neighbours are really saying, well, look, there's so much that we can do to support, which we've got the capacity to support you in. You don't need, either as diocese or as parishes, to remunerate that, to fund that. So the key thing here, the key message is that if you have a concern, the place to start is always our diocesan manager, Ben. And Ben is gaining a really good knowledge of the sort of expertise that our friends and neighbours, and even some of those who are not so close, like the Diocese of Dunedin, for example, can offer us. I was there in the Diocese of Dunedin just a couple of weeks ago running or offering some reflections on Pākehā identity for their lay ministry training day. And again, that's the way in which we can offer help to others within the wider Anglican Church. The final thing I just wanted to touch on, and really it's a question, a request for feedback. Did any of you find the sermon series that we offered over Advent and across the month of January during the summer helpful? Did any of you use them in your services? We're very happy to continue that, providing a weekly sermon in advance of the Sunday so that you can show a 5-minute to 10-minute sermon on the theme, on the readings, and build around that a service with some other resources that we will also be making available. But we'd like some feedback. If it hasn't been helpful, hasn't been useful, or if you'd like to see some change, then we'd be very grateful to receive that feedback. It can come either directly to me, to Kat Maxwell, or to Archdeacon Lance Pilbrow, who coordinated that sermon series. So look, finally, just again, please remember the McFarlane family, remember the parish of Katikati, and just a personal thank you to all of you who have reached out in support of me and Belinda. It has been a bit of a roller coaster, and Belinda has most recently developed blood clots in the leg below the surgical site, and that means that she's been experiencing significant pain, and it's affected her rehabilitation. But she's strong and resilient, and she's making good progress, and that's wonderfully supported by the prayers and the love of so many of you. So hope the next month goes really well. Look forward to talking to you in many different situations, but particularly with our training days at the end of March, beginning of April, and of course in the next connected video. So God bless, and thank you for everything that you do in Jesus' name.